Hello, my name is Andrew St Pierre White. I am a broadcast professional, been in television and internet video for the past more than 35 years. Don't let that scare you. I'm not about to teach you everything I know. What this course is all about is introducing people to the wonderful art of video. All my courses on Udemy have a common theme. This one is no exception, and that is I'm going to talk more about the creativity involved with making videos than the technicalities. There are technical things that you need to know, and I'm not going to skimp on them, but I promise you I'm not going to bamboozle you with unnecessary information that you just don't need. So I feel that a lot of courses on the internet are too equipment orientated. What this lens will do, what that, the best way, there's too much of it. I rather go from the point of view is, well, what is the story you want to tell? What do you actually want to do? What do you want to do? So that what you're about to do is envelop yourself in a basic understanding of the video medium. Once you have finished this course, not only will you understand how video works, to a point technically, but most importantly, creatively. How does an image on a screen, how does it affect the audience? Because after all, if you're going to make videos, it's not about you, it's about your audience. It's about capturing your audience. How do you do that? What do you need to do that? Video is in the modern world, particularly every day it gets video gets more and more powerful. More and more people go online and watch more and more video content, more than any time in history, and it's not slowing. So if you want to get your message across, there's nothing like video to do that. However, because so many people are devouring video content, if your video content doesn't stand out in a certain way, is technically inferior, in other words, the viewer struggles to hear or can't really see the image terribly well, or gets bored because of poor editing and sloppy editing techniques, then you will not be as effective as you'd like to be. So this course again is I'm going to take you from the very basic elements of video filmmaking, okay, to help you understand that if you wanted to make a film with an action camera or an iPhone, you could, not a problem. However, there are going to be some limitations to that. Likewise, as the equipment gets more sophisticated, then your videos can become more sophisticated. That's completely up to you. So I'm going to take you all the way, and I'm actually going to show you real live examples. In fact, I've got one right now. This video camera. It actually wasn't this actual one, it was a little older than this. But I shot an entire TV show that was broadcast on national television using one of these. And a microphone, I should add. It can be done. So, I really do understand and I sympathize with anybody walking into video right now being overwhelmed with the amount of the choices of equipment. It's always about the choice of equipment. Use this, use this, use this. I'm gonna help. I'm gonna really help. I am going to squash many of the myths. And the most important one, of course, being you need to throw huge amount of money to make a wonderful video. And in this day, with the equipment that's available to us, that is further from the truth than it's ever been. Because the answer is, if you want to make an impression just with your phone, no problem at all. Time to talk about camera equipment. There is a separate video about microphones. So if you're selecting a camera, deciding what camera or cameras to buy for your videoing endeavors, I exhort you to watch the microphone video as well. It's as important as this one. Let's talk about video. Logically, if you're going to shoot video, you would want a video camera. That used to be the case, but it is not the case anymore. But I'm going to talk about video cameras to start with. Video cameras per se are losing their popularity. It's because still cameras can shoot video as well, if not better, and can also take much better still photographs than a video camera. However, all still cameras shooting video have some disadvantages, and all video cameras shooting video have some advantages. That's what I'm going to discuss now. Now, everything that I'm going to talk about here, I am generalizing. I'm trying to make this simple. I'm trying to make it easy for you as a beginner to understand the difference between the different cameras and how best they will work for you. See, a video camera, the great part about a video camera is it's designed for video, and if we're shooting video, then surely a video camera is the best thing to use. Well, yeah. So, for example, a video camera such as this. I don't admittedly use this much, actually at all anymore, but I have in the past. The great part about video cameras, particularly in a situation where if you're filming yourself, you've got a screen that flips around and you can do a selfie. Or, and this is a very important part about video filming, you can film at an angle like this. It's very nice to be able to get a low shot and use that for reference. However, the most important two single things about choosing a camera is that you have to be able to look through an eyepiece to get your frame right. If you just rely on that, or for example, on a camera like this, if I just rely on that frame, that there, and don't look through the viewfinder, I am going to get shots that are probably going to be out of focus, but more likely shaky, because unless you're actually looking through the viewfinder, you will not notice the camera shake. You just won't see it because your eye compensates for any shake and it looks smooth, and you get back into the cutting room and you'll see that your footage is jerky. So when choosing a camera, the first thing is, can I look through the viewfinder to be able to frame up and shoot? You have to have one of these. Bottom line. Not bottom line. Okay? So, you have to have some way. So this particular camera, I get an image there, but if I put my eye to the viewfinder, I get an image in there because it's a mirrorless camera. If you might be thinking about DSLR camera, digital single lens reflex cameras. Single lens reflex means it actually has one lens, okay, and it has a mirror that flips up. The trouble is when shooting video, the mirror flips up and nothing appears on here. It only appears on here because this is optical and it's blocked by the mirror. Mirrorless cameras gives you both. When using the screen, it's fundamental to good filmmaking is to not use that. Use the viewfinder. Really important. And you'll find as you get into it, you'll realize that this is absolutely true. And a lot of amateur filmmakers make this mistake. So this is the first thing I'm going to teach you. In getting your films, your videography up to a high standard is don't use the screen. You use the screen for reference and you use your eyepiece for detail. So the question is, why do so many people not use video cameras for video and use still cameras? It's got mostly to do with the size of the sensor. So if I open this camera here, you can see the sensor in there, that kind of bluey, really bluey thing. That's the sensor, that's the CCD, it's the charged coupled device. It is the device that captures the light projected onto it by the lens and it records it either in video format or still format, depending on what you're filming. So there is the lens, there's the camera, and that's now ready for shooting still pictures and video pictures. Okay, onto the sensor. Still cameras, by and large, have larger sensors than video cameras. I'm going to take off this one here. You'll see this one has a smaller sensor than this one. This is a full frame. This is called APS. It is that is 1.5 times larger than that. So if I just take that off there, you'll be able to get a good comparison between the sizes of full frame, APS. Okay, I am unable to take the lens off this video camera. It's fixed. Video cameras that have external lenses are very expensive. Okay, they're not necessarily better than this, but they are always much more expensive. This sensor is smaller than this. A large sensor is going to produce a better quality picture. I am generalizing, but for the sake of this discussion, they just do. So we have cameras here with actually very large sensors producing much better image quality than a video camera. That's the main reason why these are going out of favor for videography and these are getting more popular. But don't discount the video camera, because the video camera is, by its very nature, easier to shoot video with it, for the reasons I have explained. The other part about it is that all good video cameras, all good ones, but not necessarily all good still cameras, have an external microphone jack. I explained this more in the microphone section in this course. But it's very important that whatever camera you get has a way of accepting an external microphone. Very inexpensive video cameras cannot do it. Some very expensive still cameras cannot do it. And you'll understand why when you watch the microphone video, why that is so important. So, a still camera is going to give you better images, better still images, and is going to be, at the end of the day, more rewarding in terms of visual appeal. Let's quickly talk about mobile phones. They are amazing. The quality these things produce is absolutely amazing. But you can't, well you can, but you can't change the lens, but you can adapt the lens. But it's very restrictive. The CCD, the charge coupled device on any cell phone, for example, as we're going from large full frame to APS this side to smaller this side, this is much smaller than that. So while the quality of the image looks amazingly, really quite brilliant out of some mobile phones, at the end of the day, it doesn't have the richness, the depth that you would get out of these cameras. But the most important thing, and the reason why action cameras such as the Sony and the GoPro are so limited in what they can do, it's exactly the same as why using a mobile phone is so limited for capturing good video quality.